For whatever reason, have you had to change jobs every 1 to 2 years and you're wondering, is this really impacting your career? Well, today we're going to talk about that. And I'm going to give you 2 tips to think about to determine whether or not you think this could be impacting your career and it's okay to do it, or maybe you might want to think at staying at a job a little bit longer. My name's Milan, and in the 30 years I spent working my way to senior level in a Fortune 100 company, this question has come up a lot, and I've thought about even myself a couple of times when I changed jobs. How often is changing a job has to be before it impacts my career? And what I've learned over the years is it really kind of depends. The first thing it depends on is, where are you in your career stage? I mean, when you're early in your career stage, a lot of people expect you, meaning right out of college, you're going to try a bunch of different jobs to figure out what you want your life path to be, or your career. Like, where are you going to invest in a single area? So nobody really expects a lot of people early in their career to maybe stay at a job for a long period of time, because you're trying to figure things out. Totally acceptable. Everybody understands it. You're building skills and experiences that are usually, that you can usually use in many different industries at that point. It's okay. But if you're getting to the middle part of your career, then you have to start thinking a bit more critically about, do you want to move up and further down a single career path? Or are you okay taking jobs in different industries, because that could be limiting in what your opportunities are? So the first tip is really understand where you're at today in terms of taking jobs. And are you early in your career where if you take a bunch of jobs and you're learning new skills, it's okay? Or is your goal in your middle career is more stability, moving up the ladder where you might need a longer tenure of experiences and skills in a particular industry in order for hiring managers to take a chance on you? So that's tip number 1, is really understand what your career stage is today. Tip number 2 is really to think back, or first think forward of, have you decided on your career and you kind of know the direction you want to go, whether it's in an industry or a certain type of job? And then looking forward 5 to 10 years, what role do you want to apply for, generally speaking? And then what do you want your resume to say about you? Because this is something that's missed quite a bit. And this has actually happened to me not too long ago. Somebody was sent to me because they've been trying to get a mid-level engineering manager role, and they were not being successful. And so they were sent to me to maybe talk to them and look at their resume and try to figure out like a plan and what was happening. But when I looked at the resume, it was pretty clear to me. So I sat down with the person. I said, look, what does your resume tell me about you compared to the role that you're applying for, which is a mid-level engineering manager role? And he looked at it and says, well, I've got these skills here and I've done this kind of work here. I said, well, that's true. But a mid-level engineering manager role, is going to take time to really impact change, build the team up, be able to put new processes in place that will be getting you more efficiency, release over release, which is going to take time. And me looking at your resume, you've changed jobs in some things, companies every 1 to 2 years. I'm looking at that saying, well, am I going to risk you staying only 1 or 2 years based on your performance of how long you stayed for me to make that investment in you? I mean, I'm not seeing it in your resume. So going for a role at that level is really challenging, because they want somebody who has 5 to 7 years of work in that industry, which kind of means in a very similar role. And it's just not showing here. And so you're asking them to take a chance on you when you haven't shown that you've been at a place long enough to actually lead a team at that level. And he was a little upset. And I said, well, it's not that it's not insurmountable, but you got to look at it from the hiring manager's position. And the problem is that you have to think about that, because that can be a limiter for you as you are looking to get these roles. Now, again, there's no right or wrong answer to this, with the exception of you have to think about, what is your resume going to represent of you based on the role you're going after? And again, if you're looking at a career in mid-level, they're going to expect more experience in the kind of job. Now, before I get the hate mail and the hate comments, I'm not saying you have to stay in a job for 25 years. I never said that. But at certain levels of a career path, particularly in tech, they want to see a track record over time for making certain changes at certain levels, which are going to take time. And if you don't have that in your resume because you've never stayed, then moving every 1 to 2 years could impact your goals. So again, there's no right or wrong answer. I hope this has been helpful to you. If it has, I'd appreciate a like. And if you subscribe, you'll get notifications of new topics. But more importantly, leave comments down below about, how do you think about this? And has changing jobs a lot actually helped your career or hurt your career? I'd love to hear about it. Have a great day.